This Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, there are several fights that you cannot miss. Davis vs. Garcia, Morrell Jr. vs. Falcao, and many more. Let's get started. In Cardiff UK, and broadcast by Dazn, we have a very interesting evening. Shavkatdzhon Rakhimov defends his International Boxing Federation super featherweight belt against Joe Cordina. The 31-year-old British comes into this fight undefeated with 15 wins and 9 KOs. His last fight was in June 2022 where he beat Kenichi Ogáwa with this spectacular KO, the title that now belongs to Rakhimov. Let's remember that Cordina loses his title after postponing the mandatory defense several times with his current opponent due to injury. In the other corner, we have the current champion with an undefeated record with 17 wins, 14 KOs, and 1 draw. Her last fight was in November 2022, where she defeated Zelfa Bárrett by technical knockout in the 9th round. A fight that was long in coming and will finally happen, undoubtedly guaranteeing a good show. Also on that same evening, Sandy Ryan goes for his first world championship against Marie-Pierre Howell. This time for the vacant WBO welterweight belt. The 32-year-old Canadian has a record of 8 wins with 2 KOs and 1 draw. Her last match was in January 2023 where she beat the Mexican Marisol Moreno on points. In the other corner, the 29-year-old Englishwoman comes to this fight with 5 victories, 2 of them by KO and 1 defeat. Her last presentation was in November 2022 where she retained her WBC International Super Lightweight belt against Argentina's Anaís Sanchez. And another fight to pay attention to in Cardiff is that of Jordan Thompson against Luke Watkins for the European Cruiserweight Championship of the International Boxing Federation that belongs to Thompson. The 33-year-old Watkins comes into this fight with 16 wins, 11 of them by KO and 2 losses. His last fight was in July 2022 where he won the undefeated Ian Martel by technical knockout in the 6th round. In the other corner, we have the champion with an unbeaten record of 14 wins with 11 knockouts. His last presentation was in August 2022 where he defeated the Czech Vasil Duker by unanimous decision. Now we go with the big evening in Las Vegas. David Morrell Jr. will defend his World Association Boxing super middleweight belt against Yamaguchi Falcao, who replaces Sena Agbiko. The 35-year-old Brazilian comes into this bout with 24 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw with 10 KOs. His last fight was in October 2022, where he beat Ernest Amuzu by TKO in the 7th round. In the other corner we have the 25-year-old Cuban with an undefeated record with 8 wins and 7 knockouts. His last presentation was in November 2022 where he defeated Casajo Eidos Yerbasinalev by KO. We continue in Las Vegas with another of the fights not to be missed. Bektemir Melikuziev against Gabriel Rosado. The rematch of the Uzbeko's record-staining fight, where he received a tremendous KO from Rosado in 2021, promises to be a real battle. The 37-year-old American comes into this second fight with 26 wins, 15 of them by KO, 16 losses, and a draw. His last fight was in September 2022, where he lost a unanimous decision to Kazakh Ali Akhmedov. In the other corner, we have the 27-year-old Uzbeko, who has a record of 11 wins, 9 of them by KO and 1 loss. His last confrontation was in January 2023, where he won by KO in the 3rd round against Ulises Sierra. Finally, the fight of the week. Gervonta Davis vs. Ryan Garcia. The 24-year-old Garcia comes into this fight undefeated with 23 wins and 19 KOs. His last fight was in July 2022, where he defeated Javier Fortuna by knockout in the 6th round. In the other corner, we have the 28-year-old Davis with an unbeaten record of 28 wins and 26 knockouts. His last fight was in January 2023, where he beat the undefeated Hector Garcia by TKO in the 9th round. One of the most anticipated fights of the year, due to the press these boxers received. This week they gave the last show on social networks when live, they bet the entire bag for whoever wins the match.